Hi, this is Maria from Crochet A to Z, and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button. If you have, thank you. I want to thank everyone that's here today, and I also want to ask you to please push the like button. It does help with the algorithms to get these tutorials out. So today I want to go over, and so excited, this is block number 4. So we're working on block number 4 of the crochet along and the crochet along at your own pace Afghan. And again, block number 4, and these are our past blocks. That was block number 1, that was block number 2, that was block number 3, and this is block number 4. And it entails half double crochets, and I did a video on half double crochets, and it will be out there. It is going to be out there as well. So this is about half double crochets, and what you have to do with this is you have to crochet, or you're going to crochet half double crochets and one row of all half double crochets in both loops, and one row of half double crochets in back loop only until you get to the end. So you're going to go back and forth, back and front loop, and then just the back loop only. So I'm going to show you how we get that started. And what you have to do is you have to crochet with, you're going to need your eye hook, and you are going to start again with your half double crochets. So let's get started with our half double crochets, and I am going to pull out my trusty yarn here so that we can get going. So I'm going to pull this over, and like I said, I did a tutorial with half double crochets only. So again, we are going to chain, we're going to do our slip knot, and we're going to chain 28. So here's my slip knot, and I'm going to chain 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. This is my working chain. These are my chains. They look like V's. And at the very end is my slip knot. So after we chain the 28 chains, we're going to do a half double crochet. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to go in the 3rd chain from the hook. So this is our working chain. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go into this 3rd chain from the hook, and we're going to pull up a loop. We have 3 chains on our hook. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to go through all 3. Now we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go in the next one. We're going to go in to this next chain. We're going to pull up a loop. We have 3 on our hook. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to go through all 3. And we're going to do this right across. So let's make our half double crochets right across. And again, this is block number 4 of our crochet along at your own pace. Do these when you feel like it, when you have time. your schedules are busy, and this is a project that you can take along with you, do on your own time, and there's no problem. So that's what this project is all about. You can make one block a week. You can make them all in one day. You can space them out in a month. Whatever you want to do, you do. And that's how we're going to get through this together. We're going to take our time because schedules are busy, and sometimes you just don't have time to crochet, and this will give you a project on your own time. And that's the beauty of this project. So we're just going to do a half double crochets right across. And you don't have to crochet if you want. Just check your tension that it's always the same with every block, so that everybody crochets differently, but always check your tension and how tightly you are crocheting, and check your block against other blocks to make sure your tension, instead of don't wait, but do it every time you are into a block. Just make sure that they measure up and they're the same. So I just want to mention that as well. If you notice, that's the same. So now, after we do that, and this is what it looks like, that's your first row of half double crochets. But before we go anywhere, we're going to count them, because what we want to have is 27. So we have to count this here, because that's considered one of your stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Whether you're a new crocheter or someone that's been crocheting for a long time, you do drop stitches once in a while. You're not paying attention, you're tired, you miss a stitch. So we've all been through it. We all still go through it. No worries. So now what you're going to do is you're going to chain 2. You're going to chain 2 every time you go to turn your work. Every row. And I want to mention that we're going to do half double crochets, half double crochets, row. Now this is our second row, so we're going to go row 2 to 22. But we did this row, so the next row, so we have to have 22 rows. So the next row we got to chain 1 and chain 2, and we're going to turn our work. We're not going to go in this first stitch because that's your chain 2, and that's considered a half double crochet. In the next stitch right here, we're going to go in this back loop only, and we're going to do a half double crochet, and we're going to do another half double crochet all the way to the end in the back loop only. So we're going to yarn over. We see our V's, we'll split them, we go into this back loop, we pull up a loop, we yarn over and pull through 3. So we're going to do the back loop only right to the end. And again, this is block number 4. And we're going to just go right across. So I'm going to repeat that we're going to chain 28, and in the third chain from the hook, we're going to put our first half double crochet. That first stitch counts as a half double crochet. That's why when we counted across, I said we're going to count that stitch because it counts as a half double crochet. When you're done with your first row, you have to have 27 half double crochets across. So now what we're going to do, and this is row 2, there's row 1, row 2. Row 1 is your half double crochets, row 2 is your half double crochets in the back loop only. And we're going to do this right across. So this is row 2 to 22. So we're going to have 22 rows of half double crochet in the front and back loop, and a second row is a half double crochet in the back loop only, and then you start over with half double crochets in two loops, and then the next row will be half double crochet in the back loop only, and you'll do that until you have 22 rows. And this will be done in right-handed and back and left-handed crochet, so everybody will be able to follow along. Whether you crochet with your left hand or your right hand, you will be able to do these blocks. And that last stitch is always a bugger, and you're just going to go in that last stitch. You're going to do both. You're going to grab both loops. Just want to tell you, yes, it is a bugger. So we're just going to do a half double crochet. So now here they are. And if you notice, the back loop is, you're going to have that double, almost double ridge. So that's the ridge. That's the front loop that's poked out because it wasn't worked in right there, because we crocheted in the back loop only. Now we're going to chain 1 and chain 2, and we're going to turn our work. So now we don't go in this first stitch because the chain 2 counts as a half double crochet, and in the next stitch we go into both. I'm going to go right here so I want you to see it. We're going to go into both loops. So I want to show you. That's the front loop. That's the back loop. So in this row, we're going to do the front and the back loop. And we're going to go right through and make a half double crochets right across. Again, this is block number 4 of crochet along Afghan at your own pace. Make 1 a week. Make them all in one day. Make a couple in a week. Whatever you want to do. But it's at your own pace. And we're going to go right across. And we're going to make a half double crochets in both loops. And then we're going to count our rows. And if you want to count your stitches, you can do that too, so that you know that you have 27 stitches across. And at the end, you can go through both loops instead of just the one loop when you're doing the back loop only. It kind of reinforces the ends. And this is we're going into the back and front loop to do this row. And in that last stitch, we want to make sure we grab that. So now we did a row of, our first row was a half double crochets. Our second row was back loop only half double crochets. Our third row was both loops half double crochets. And now our next row, chain 1, chain 2, and you're going to turn your work. The only thing that you've got to remember is where you went. So if you get confused and say, I don't remember, I can't tell, especially when you're first starting out, all you have to do is pull that stitch from below, and you can see that you went into both loops. So you know that your next row is going to be back loop only. Little tricks of the trade. Little easy tricks of the trade. Chain 1, chain 2, and let's remember we don't have to go into this first stitch because this counts as a half double crochet, that chain 1 and 2. In the next stitch, we're going to do the back loop only. And we're going to do this until we have 22 rows. So we're going to do the back loop only, and I'm going to show you this. And we're going to go right across. Back loop only. I'll show you again. Front loop, back loop. That's the one we go in. And we're going to go right across. And this is, again, block number 4. So if you got some time this weekend and you want to do a block or 2, go right ahead. And we're going to do this right across. This is the row for the back loop only. And make sure you get that last stitch. And you'll go through the whole thing. I just wanted to mention that. So that last stitch, you want to make sure you get it. So now, there we are. And there's your back loop only. See the ridge? You have a ridge. It's almost like you've got a double ridge. And that's what it's going to look like when you keep going. So again, you're going to chain 28 half double crochets. So what you're going to do is start, and you're going to chain you're going to chain, so here's what it looks like when you're done. And to start off, you're going to chain 28. Once you chain 28, in the third chain from your hook, you're going to chain a half double crochet. And then you're going to continue to chain half double crochets till you get to the end. You're going to end up with 28 half